and lightning strikes. One thing that I have found myself missing since starting school here last semester is a nice quality thunderstorm. One where the wind is howling as it blows by, where the lightning blinds you when it flashes, and the thunder booms loud enough to rattle the building you're in. While many people find thunderstorms to be powerful and even scary, I find them to be peaceful and calming. This obviously was not always the case. As a child, I was extremely afraid of thunderstorms. I was like my cats, as whenever there is a storm, they always go off and hide under a bed. To be fair, there was an incident when I was 6 that contributed to my fear. It's a particularly violent storm, and I was up in my brother's room trying to play his guitar. Trying the key word, because I was definitely horrible at it. When a loud thunderclap was followed by our fire alarm going off. My family rushed across the street to our neighbor's house, with the only thoughts going through my mind being that my house was burning down. In reality, lightning had struck our power box, tripping the fire alarm, but that one moment scarred me for quite a while. Since then, I have grown to have a fond relationship with thunderstorms, especially since they are so much more common up in the Pittsburgh area. I certainly have to credit my father for fostering my feelings toward thunderstorms. Whenever it was storming, he would always go out onto our porch and sit there, either reading a book or catching up on some work. Funnily enough, he was actually sitting on our porch when my earlier story took place, because I can remember him coming into the house as me and my mom were rushing out. Eventually, I worked up the courage to join him, and we would just sit there, with no particular purpose, enjoy each other's company in the presence of the storm. As time went on and my fear of thunderstorms lessened, I began to appreciate the finer details of the storms. Petrichor, it's a word that not many people know, but most people unknowingly have an association to it. It's a word given for the smell of rain, and broken down to its roots, petra, meaning stone, and ichor, meaning the fluid which flows through the veins of the gods. I think that petrichor is a beautiful description of the smell, almost making rain the elixir of life. But I just love the earthy, wet smell that rain gives off, though I think the smell of worms as they make their way to the surface ruins it. While I obviously love petrichor, my favorite part of a thunderstorm is the thunder itself, as it's truly what gives the thunderstorm its life. I like to think of every thunderclap as unique, as they have their own volume, frequency, pitch, length, and rhythm. Above all else, they all have their own unique, tangible feel, something that I don't think many people associate with thunder. It's a feeling that I love, the pounding you feel in your chest, your lungs, your heart, like having a bass drum be pounded right next to you. It's enough for me to get a rush of adrenaline, as my heart always seems to beat a little faster whenever lightning strikes. Add this to the feeling of anticipation that follows the strike of lightning, just waiting for that first rumble, then the crash, and finally the patter of rain as the thunder finally calms. My love for thunderstorms culminated over this last summer, where I sat for half an hour outside in a thunderstorm. I was just going about my routine at work in the middle of a pick of our driving range. Off in the distance, I could see the storm coming, and so I tried to wrap up before it. Unfortunately, the storm hit before I had a chance to finish, so there I was, stuck in the middle of our driving range, with the rain absolutely hammering the cab of the tractor. What most people would see as a hapless circumstance, I saw as an excuse to take a break, relax, and enjoy the storm. I admit that it's not what I should have done, as I was still on the clock, but being honest, there's not much work to do when it's storming at a golf course. And so there I was, listening to some music and admiring the storm in all its glory. And then, like all good thunderstorms, lightning proceeded to strike about 50 yards away from me, scaring the ever-living shit out of me. Sorry for the language, but it's truly how I felt. I proceeded to absolutely hightail it back to our clubhouse, pushing the cart to its limit, with my heart trying to burst out of my chest since it was pounding so hard. Guess it goes to show, though, that even in our best moments, there's always something unexpected that can come along and ruin it,